In this video, I will show you how to improve your electric guitar playing in church. Welcome to Rusty's Worship Guitar. The first great way to improve your guitar playing in church is to know the music. And what do I mean by that? If we just take some simple chords, D, G, B minor, and A, we need to know those chord shapes in at least a few different spots on the fretboard. It helps you with rhythm, and it hugely helps you with playing lead lines around the chords. We can just pick the notes one at a time from these little triad shapes. G, A, B minor, G, B minor. This gives you a huge amount of confidence when you know where these chord shapes are. When you add that little bit of ambience to those, and even when you gain up on it, if you are confident where some of those chord shapes are, and you have a sound that inspires you, and that's my second point, is just have a core sound. A sound that you use most of the time, and I use this sound probably 80% of the time, and I'm using a Rev G20 amp, so I can use it in my studio because you can go direct into the interface, and at church I can go directly into the front of house with this type of amp. And I always use a medium to light overdrive. In this case I'm using the J-Rocket Audio Archer pedal, a Klon style pedal that's really touch sensitive. And for many years I've used the Strymon Big Sky for reverb and the Strymon Timeline for some delay sounds. I just use a couple simple settings, but at least 80% of the time I'm using this simple sound. But I love this guitar. It's a Duesenberg Star Player TV, but I maybe volume at halfway on the bridge pickup. Has that ambient sound. But when you crank it all the way up, and then back down, you have that ambient sound. This, for me, that's what inspires me, is being ready. Knowing the songs that you're playing and the style that you're going to play them in. You need to know those chord shapes. Just connect them in a few different spots on the fretboard is a huge inspiration for me and a confidence builder. But also that core sound. You can vary from that sound and add some overdrive and maybe even clean it up a little bit, but that core sound can really inspire you just to play the guitar, play it from your heart, because you're not thinking too much about the technical part, you're just playing the guitar. This is really the fun part of this, is knowing these simple chord shapes, having that good sound. But being able having the capability of not hitting any pedals. I'm just at volume halfway playing ambient, and I crank it up. I have that huge sound because the guitar, the guitar just comes alive at that point. Just playing little chord shapes, D, D, and D. D. And then hitting it. And then being able to back down. Seeing these chord shapes, just playing some notes in those chord shapes can just help you create lead lines on the fly. You don't need to be thinking about a bunch of scales. I used to do that. I would look at these full bar chords and then say, well, where can I play the pentatonic scale? But that's not what it's about. You can create melody if you just hit the notes in the chord. On the G chord, A, B minor. G, D. For me, I don't do a lot of flashy stuff in church. I play a lot of lead, but I just play some phrases that are really meaningful and say something. This is such a fun way to play the guitar in any kind of music, but especially in church, because you're prepared with some of the sounds and the music itself. Then you can let loose, and at rehearsal try some different things. But on Sunday you are ready to just play from the heart. You have some of those sounds if you want to play ambient. But with your volume, without hitting any pedal, I just back down on the volume. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and remember, God is good.